Ceramic signature. Signing your name in clay is different than writing on a piece of paper, so let's spend some time thinking about what that signature might look like. I've given you a worksheet, and the first step is let's review how things are going to be scored and graded. What are the requirements? So read this over. As I've read it over, I'm reminded I always have to have my name, table number, and period number on the top. So put that up there. Notice that including your name, table number, and period number is worth points. So go ahead and score yourself and give yourself those 3 points. You'll also notice that you're required to score yourself so that I know that you reviewed the requirements. Let's get started. And again, always read the directions first. So this says create a minimum of 12 unique signature designs below. They must all be very different, not just a change of a word or a slight variation of size or positioning. So I'm going to kind of walk through a few with you to help you understand what that means. It says there needs to be 12, and if you count, you're going to see there's 12 boxes. Feel free to ask for an extra sheet or flip over on the back if you need more space. In this first box, let's write down all the different names that you might be called by. So my name is Barbara. My grandmother had a nickname of Barbie for me. I prefer to use Barb. My last name is Samansky. And my middle name is Elizabeth. I probably won't use that, but I might use the letter E. If you have other nicknames, write them in there. We need to have 12 unique design ideas. So far, that's just one. They were all done with print, even though it was 4 different names. I'm going to try out some cursive. I'm pretty good at cursive, so I'm going to try out some ideas with cursive. I'm going to keep going. So far I would have 2, right? Even though there were multiple names in there, it's still just 2 different designs. One was just printing and one was cursive. I'm going to try to get more creative. That is one of our targets, is to get more creative and have a lot of different designs. So let me try something a little different on this next one. I'm thinking, what if I kind of do something a little bit more simple? I am thinking about the fact that I'm going to have to write in clay. So maybe I'll just do a big letter B and then put the barb inside of it. And then that kind of shortens. That's just 3 things. Or what if I do S and put a barb inside of that? Now that's 2 different ideas, but still similar design, so it's only going to count as 1. What if I do something like block letters or bubble letters? I have sped up this video, but I was thinking as I was writing it, man, this is taking a long time. So you also want to think about how much time this might take you to do. I've often thought about shortening my name to Barb Sims, so it could just be 4 letters and 4 letters. So it's a possibility. Let me try something different. I am thinking of M.C. Escher, how he had that box around his letters. And so I'm going to do something with like maybe putting letters inside of boxes. Right? So I did something that was horizontal. I'm going to do something vertical, maybe something diagonal. Notice that if it doesn't quite fit inside my box, that's okay. You can go outside. Now let's see, let me try something different. I'm going to try maybe stacking letters and have them be connected. So I tried one idea. I want to see a few different ideas. It's still the same design idea of stacking letters, but I'm trying things different ways. So I'm putting them in the same box. I'm going to keep going. Sometimes one idea will lead to another idea. So those big letters led me to another idea of the big letters, but with one letter inside, one large letter inside. Once you have all 12 done, I don't have all 12 done because I want you to be able to get to work. But once you have all 12 done, you're going to put your top 3 choices in these boxes below. So you'll look above. Right now, I think my favorite out of the 7 is the big S with the barb in it. So I'm going to rewrite that as one of my options. All right, and then when I finish the other 5, I will pick 2 more that are my favorite. I also want to kind of talk about how the grading is going to work. So what I'm going to do is look through all your ideas and give you credit for each unique design idea. So remember, even though a box might have more signatures in it, you're only going to get credit for unique designs. Also remember, these are my designs. I'm expecting that you come up with your own unique ways. So I did do a print. You could probably do a print, and you'll probably do a cursive, but the rest will probably be very different than mine. So I'm getting credit. One check mark means one credit for all the very similar designs. So each box I stuck with similar designs. I also want to show you, though, what's not going to get you credit and what that's going to look like. I'll see all the time where people think, well, what if I just do it messier? I saw my dad or mom have their name kind of spread out, and I'll see cursive where they just get more and more messy. You don't get credit for that because it's still cursive. No matter how much you lengthen it or change it, it's just a version of your cursive. So I'll circle it and I'll put an arrow towards something else. I also know sometimes people are nervous that if they have two ideas in a box, they won't get credit for it. Don't worry, I'm looking for a different idea. So in this box, one idea led me to another one that was kind of curvy, but I'm looking at it and going, those are two unique ideas. I'm going to give you credit for both. Basically, when working, do as many creative ideas as you can. Even if they're in the wrong boxes, you will get credit. I do talk about grades and points, but remember, this is really about your signature and about being creative. The more you create, the more creative you're going to get, and the happier you're going to be with your final signature. Let's go back to finishing out this assignment. You're always reviewing your worksheet and the requirements. What I've done here is gone back and counted up how many unique signatures I have. I stopped at 9. You would keep going because you would want all the points. But each is worth 6 points. If I do that math, 9 times 6 is 54. Now, if I look at the next box down, all 3 of those signatures is each worth 5 points. I'm actually making sure that I finish filling them in and giving myself credit. So currently, if I only did 2, I would only get 10 points. I don't want that. So I'm going to make sure I do all 3, and I like that BES in a box. So now I did all 3. 3 times 5, I get my 15. That's right, there's some math in here. Once you have 12 unique design ideas and you've chosen your top 3 that you might want to have be your final, you need to come up with your final. The best way to do that would be to test it in clay. I will give a demo later about that, but that will involve getting a little piece of clay and what's called a needle tool, and you're going to get to actually try to write it in clay. After testing out your top 3 and maybe a couple other ones from the top, you'll have decided what's your favorite, what's the one you do the best. Final signature goes in that large box at the bottom. Then make sure to do your final scoring. Again, you must do scoring or you're going to lose 3 points right off the top of the score. I didn't finish this, so I ended up only getting 82 points. 82 is a good score, B's okay, but this is designed so that you're creative and really you should get all the points. So try to make sure that you fulfill all the requirements and then you'll walk away with 100 on this one. Good luck and be creative.